Okay, behind step 1, we're going to write multiply the divisor and dividend by a power of 10 to remove the decimal. So when I'm saying power of 10, that could be by 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. As many times as you need to move the decimal, that's what you're going to have to multiply it by. Okay, so you'll multiply the divisor and dividend by a power of 10 to remove the decimal from, this is going to get kind of tight here, from the divisor. Our divisor cannot have a decimal. Our dividend can. So remember, the divisor, is that on the outside or the inside?
Inside.
The divisor is the outside. So we can't have a decimal outside. Okay, so that's why we got to multiply by power of 10.
The one with the decimal goes outside.
Well, you might have both numbers have a decimal. We'll go through it today. We'll practice. Step 2, we're going to rewrite the problem. Rewrite using the new numbers. Okay, because after we've multiplied, we now created 2 new numbers. So we got to use those numbers and rewrite the problem with it. We'll see. And step 3, find the quotient. And what's quotient mean? The answer to what type of problem? Division problem. Good. So again, not much is different than regular division besides that tricky decimal. Once we get that decimal taken care of, all the rest is the same. So opposite of multiplication, we waited till the very end to take care of the decimal, right? We didn't do anything with that decimal until the end. Division, we got to work with the decimal first and get that out of the way. Then we can divide. So everyone got these steps written down? Got them, Kevin? No? We'll get you caught up at the end, okay? Just let's go to the example and then we'll get you caught up, okay? Hey, so we're looking at this problem. 32.75 divided by 2.5. So before I write anything, which of these numbers goes on the outside? Well, they both have a decimal. So if I have 32.75 divided by 2.5. So think of board math. Look at board math. 246 divided by 12. What number did we put inside?
246.
246. So the first number is going in the inside. Okay, but I can't do anything yet because I haven't multiplied. So I want to look at this second number. How many numbers are behind my decimal? 1. So when I multiply this, I want to multiply it by a power of 10. Same thing down here. Okay, so you'll look how many numbers are behind the decimal of the number you're dividing by. That's how many places you got to add for a 0 in. So now, if I take 0 times all these, I'm going to get 0, right? So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. Then I'm going to add my placeholder. Braden T, do you have this written down? Do I need to move you up front so you can pay attention?
Next you need to put 5, 7,
So now I'm going to do 5,
7,
7, 2,
2, 3.
3. So I've got 0, 5, 7, 2, 3.
Boy, this
Now,
is numbers.
how many numbers are behind my decimal up here? 2. So I move my decimal 2 times. So now I've ended up with 327.5.
How do you know what the numbers are?
What do you mean?
Inside.
The first number goes in the inside. The second number goes on the outside. We just need to get rid of the decimal in the outside number. I'll show you here in a little bit and it will make a little more sense. Okay? So 0 times 5 gives me 0. 0 times 2, 0. Add a 0. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. So add that together
How can you get 10?
because there's one number behind the decimal.
Huh?
There's one number behind the decimal. So let's look. I got one number behind decimal, so I'm moving my decimal 2 times. Or 1 time, sorry. I end up with 25. Okay? So 25 is going on the outside. 327.5 is going on the inside. Now, my decimal is going to go from here straight up to my answer.
You put the decimal in the wrong place.
No, I didn't, because look where it ended up after I multiplied.
Ah, that.
Remember, step 2 tells me to use my new value. So I got to use that number and that number. Okay? So 25 goes into 3 how many times?
None.
None. So I'm going to put a little X there. 25 into 32,
What? No, 1 time.
1 time, which gives me 25. So borrow, 3 becomes a 2, 2 becomes a 12. 12 minus 5 gives me 7. Bring this 7 down. How many times does 25 go into 77? Think of quarters. 3 times. Which gives me what? 75. 77 minus 75 gives me 2. Bring down my 5. 25 into 25. 1 time. Which gives me 25. 0 left over. Are you writing it down with us?
Yeah, but it's so confusing.
What is confusing? That is regular division.
You didn't add, didn't subtract.
Yes, I did. Where did I subtract?
I think that's confusing. How did you get 10?
No, hold on. Richard, where did I not subtract?
Just 10. What is that? 32 minus
32 minus 25 gives me 7. I borrowed. That became a 2. That became a 12. Then I had to bring another 7 down. So I did subtract. So you gotta pay attention.
How did you get 10?
For what? To multiply?
Yeah.
Because how many numbers are behind the decimal?
1.
1. I told you back in step 1 I needed to multiply by a power of 10. How many zeros does 10 have?
1.
1. So that's why I gotta multiply by 10. I'm going to show you an easier way in a minute, but I wanted you to see this of why it comes up that way. Okay? So underneath there, let's try another one.
Okay, try.
So let's try an easy one. 21.6 divided by 3. We're going to work it together. So, first thing I want to look at, does my divisor have a decimal? So does this number out here have a decimal? No. So I can completely ignore step 1 then. Okay? So what I'm going to do is, since my decimal's here, I need to move it straight up to my answer. Move it straight up to your answer. Okay? Now, I can do regular division from this point because I took care of my decimal. So if 3 goes into 2, no times. 3 goes into 21, 7 times, which gives me what? 21. So 21 minus 21 gives me 0. Bring down my 6. 3 into 6, 2 times, which gives me 6. 0 left over. So what is my answer?
7.2.
7.2. Questions on that one? So if there's no decimal on the outside, just take your decimal straight up to your answer and divide.
Mom, if there is a decimal outside.
We'll get through that. These steps up here, I said I'll get you caught up at the end. You should have been writing them down. Okay, let's try another one. Let's try 24.507 divided by 3 again. Kevin, turn around, please. Hey, what's the first thing I want to check?
If the 3 has a decimal.
Does it have a decimal?
No.
So what do I do?
You just ignore that 3.
Okay? So do I put my decimal over here?
No.
Where do I put it?
Above the decimal.
I go straight up. Does everybody see that? Isabella, are you writing this down? Shouldn't see your head down. You should be writing. Have I lost anybody yet? Noah.
I think it's 8.
You think it's 8. So 3 goes into 24 8 times?
Yeah.
Yes, you are correct. So 8. Subtract my 24. 24 minus 24? 0. Bring down my 5. So 3 goes into 5 1 time, which gives me 3. 5 minus 3 gives me 2. You were a step ahead, Cassidy. Bring down my 0. Where'd you get a 4 from? 3 goes into 20. 6 times. Thank you, Espen. 3 times 6 is 18. 20 minus 18 is 2. Now what? Bring down my 7. 3 goes into 27. 9 times, which gives me 27. So my answer would be 8.169. Questions on that? Alright, so most of you are probably pretty close to out of room and not going to have much room for another problem. So what I want you to do at the bottom is to label this as no decimal in divisor. So that way when you're looking on your test, if Ms. Stokes let you use your notes, these ones have no decimal in your divisor. So questions when you have no decimal in the divisor. We understand that part?
Yeah. Well, so what if it has a decimal?
That's what we're going to get through next. Okay. So turn the page, so we should be on page 10 in your notes. And let's look at some problems when they do have a decimal in your divisor. So let's look at 454.92 divided by 5.1. 5.1. Hey, so before you freak out, take a deep breath. Hey, before I showed you the rules of what we do, but are you going to want to go through those rules every time? No. So I want to look back. You guys just keep your notes right where you're at. I want to look back at this one. We started with 32.75. We ended with 327.5. What happened to that decimal?
It went backwards.
It went back one, right?
Yeah.
What did it do here?
It just took it away. That's
It moved it one, right? Because we went from here to behind the 5. Brayden, I don't know why you are talking right now. Okay, we can worry about that later. Right now you need to be paying attention. So here we moved it one time. We moved it one time. Because that's all we needed to move it to get it to the end of this number. So if we look at the problem we're doing right now, if I want to move this decimal to the end, how many places do I move it? This number, Richard. How many times do I need to move it? One time. So I'm taking my decimal from here, and I'm moving it here. No, you got that? So, in math, I got to be equal. So if I do it to one side, I got to do it to the other. So I'm going to take this decimal. How many times am I going to move it? Careful. How many times did I move this one? So how many times am I going to move this one? One. I got to be equal. Kevin, I'm going to move you from that chair. That is not appropriate for math class. Do you understand? So now, I just did a shortcut of that step 1. Because really what I did is I multiplied by 10. When I multiply by 10, all I'm doing is moving the decimal one place. So we just did that in our heads. So I'm going to rewrite the problem now because I don't like seeing that decimal like that. So I'm going to rewrite it as 51 dividing into 4,549.2. Okay. Now, does this look like the problems we did on the previous page?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do I need to do?
Long division.
Long division, but before that, what do I have to do?
Put decimal straight up.
Move my decimal straight up. Now, this is going to be harder because it's a larger number, right? I got 51 into 454.
That comes on to it 8 times.
You think 8 times. So let's check on the side. I like doing scratch work, so I'm going to do 51 times 8. 8 times 1 gives me 8. 8 times 5?
40.
40. So I got 408. Do you think you can go more than that?
Yeah. Try 10. You got 9.
Let's try 9. 9 times 1 is 9. 9 times 5? 45. Does that work? So what's it got to be? 8 times. So my 8 goes up there, and I'm subtracting 408. Now notice, I'm not getting rid of that scratch work. I like seeing your scratch work like that.
Thank you.
Okay? Because then I know you're trying. Because if you come up to me and ask for help, I won't know what you've tried. Or maybe you made a mistake and you're multiplying over here. That's okay to show work. I have to do it too. Okay, 4 minus 8. Can I do that? So borrow, 5 becomes a 4. 4 becomes a 14. 14 minus 8?
It's
6. 4 minus 0? 4. 4 minus 4? 0. So now, bring down my 9. I got 469. Now what am I going to do? How many times does 51 go into 469?
It's 8.
Well, 8 gave me 408. Man, if I would have checked 51 times 9. Oh, wait.
It's right here.
I did.
What?
Now I saved myself some work because I already did it. If I would have erased it, I would have had to redo it all. Alright, so is 459 going to be pretty close?
Yeah.
Could I go 10 times? No. So place your 9 up top.
I like the number 9 now.
So now, subtract 459. 9 minus 9? 0. 6 minus 5? 1. 4 minus 4? 0. Now what?
Bring down 2.
Bring down my 2. 51 into 102. 2 times? Let's check.
I think it's accurate.
51 times 2. What's 2 times 1?
2.
What's 2 times 5?
10. It's accurate.
It works.
What?
So put a 2 up top, subtract by 102, and I get a 0 remainder.
By the way, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Do you know why I think it's confusing to move the decimal?
Why?
Because first of all, I think it's harder to work to move the decimal.
Okay, we're going to try one more. 1,000.
Oh, God.
Oh, whoa. Oh, sorry. 1.3948 divided by 0.44. So 1.3948 divided by 0.44. So I gotta set it up.
The bigger number goes in the inside.
How do I know which number is bigger?
Because of the size.
That doesn't mean anything. This one could have more digits.
Yeah, it's 44. It's
Which number comes first?
the one. It's the first number.
So this number, whatever comes first, is always going into the inside.
No.
Yep.
Oh.
So I've got 1.3948 and 0.44 goes on the outside.
You move the decimal 2 times.
Why am I moving it 2 times?
Because yours is in the back.
There's 2 numbers behind the decimals. I'm taking this decimal, moving it 1, 2. So how many times do I move this decimal? 2 times. 1, 2. Okay. So now let's rewrite it. This turns to 44 on the outside. And on the inside, I have 139.48. Everyone see how we got that? Any questions? Hey, now what's the first thing I need to do? Don't tip in the chair, please. Isabel? Not quite yet. I forgot to do something first. Remember? I gotta raise my decimal up. Okay, now what can I do?
Figure out how many times
Okay, 44 into 139. Any guesses?
I think it's three.
Think 3. Let's try 3. 44 times 3. 4 times 3 gives me 12. Carry a 1. 4 times 3 plus 1.
13.
132. Am I going to get any closer?
No.
Probably not.
Yes.
No, because 132 plus 44 isn't going to be 139. So 3 times, subtract 132. 9 minus 2, we got to finish this problem first.
Okay.
9 minus 2 gives me
4.
9 minus 2, 7. Bring my 4 down. 44 into 74. 1 time, which gives me 44. 0. 7 minus 4 is 3. Bring my 8. 44 into 308. Ooh. 44, let's try 6. 6 times 4 gives me 24. I get 264. Is that going to work? I think you can go one more time. 44 times 7. 8, 2. There we go. 7. Once you have that copied, you may leave. Make sure you have it all the way copied.
Done. I'm boss. Yeah, I think she's the best teacher ever. She shows me stuff.
Have a good day.